Hey folks, and welcome to a beautiful morning here in Koh Larn. If you watched the preview episode that I posted yesterday, you'll know that I came to Koh Larn for 3 days, a little trip, and this will be the first real episode for that. We'll go through the whole adventure here. I'm just on my way down to the 7-Eleven here in Koh Larn, and we actually arrived yesterday, and I'm just going to go down here to the 7-Eleven here in the morning and grab some goodies, but let's go back to yesterday and see how we got here. That's kind of where the story begins, and while we look at that, I'll jump into 7-Eleven here real quick. Alrighty. Boat looks kind of small. We'll see. We got 200 baht a person. 200 baht a person. 800 for 4 people. It seemed reasonable. That's kind of the going rate. The last guy, 400 baht. 400 baht a person. Way out of line. Yeah, so you can catch your choice of boats right on Bali Hai Pier, and you do have to be a little careful. Some of the private ones try to bilk you a little bit, but they have the ferry. The ferry is about $1, 30 baht. For the ferry. The ferry is going to take longer than the speedboat we selected, but a boat like this, 200 baht per person, is about right. Like I just said, somebody wanted 400 baht a person, the last guy. So you do have to be careful. But these boats will get you there in about 10 minutes. He's just putting out of the harbor right here. But once they open the throttle up, you get there in no time. So if you don't want to waste any time or sit on a ferry with a big crowd of people, take this. Now, we did take the ferry back, so I'll show you that later in this episode or the next episode. But this is the speedboat. So yeah, just like that, you're out here in no time on this speedboat. And then we had to pull up next to this ferry, and we disembarked from the speedboat onto the ferry, and then from the ferry onto the dock. Yeah, that was how we did it. But anyway, then we just walked right up here to the kind of pier, and we met this guy. And he's just happy to see us. He's happy to see tourists coming back to Koh Larn. And he's not alone. A lot of people were like that. I experienced that a lot during the 3 days. But right at the end of the pier, we got hooked up with a couple motorbikes. This guy up here, that's my buddy Nick. He's been here before. He's kind of an old hand here at Koh Larn. And he knew an owner of one of the resorts, and she hooked us up with some rooms. That's where we're on our way to now. And these motorbikes. We got these motorbikes for 300 baht for the day. That's a full 24-hour day. I saw them elsewhere later in the trip for 400 for the whole day. 300 just for a day trip. Like you bring it in and turn it in. You rent it and return it the same day. So I think we got a good deal, and I think we got a decent deal on the room. I'll talk more about that later. But it was about this point in the trip I discovered my new motorbike didn't have any brakes. No brakes! Oh my God! So yeah, welcome to the Bali Hai Resort. Basically, they just opened for us, so we're the only ones here. But let's take a look around. I'll show you the room and show you some of the grounds and tell you what we paid for it and what kind of deal we ended up getting. The best part about it is the privacy. It's a nice place. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a kind of a typical island resort, but we're the only ones here. We're the only ones here. So that is worth, I think, more than the price of the room. So for 2,200 baht, so about
I don't know, $60, $65, under $70, I believe. 2 nights accommodation and 2 days motorbike. And that, I think, includes the gas on the motorbike. So I'm going to jump on the hog right there and check the place out. It's been kind of threatening rain all day, so try to make it down to the beach before it rains and see what's doing down there, and maybe hit up a 7-Eleven. But this is the resort.
So the resort location actually turned out to be really nice. It's not right on a beach or even right near a beach, but there's beaches less than 5-minute motorbike ride away. You're also a couple minutes from downtown where the 7-Eleven is, and the eateries and things like that. So it's kind of more centrally located. It's quiet, and although you don't have a beachfront view or anything, it's in the middle of everything, and you can go to all these different beaches like this one. This is the first one we're going to hit up. It's called Nual Beach.
Calm seas today. But over there, looks like there's some cliffs or a cave or something. That is very interesting. I find that very appealing. I don't know how you'd get up there, but I'm just wondering how far that cave, if it's a cave, how far it goes back in there.
Monkey Beach and Kickz are the 2 best ones that are best returning for it. They're pretty close to each other, but so many more.
Are they caves up there?
I think so, yeah.
That'd be cool to go up there.
Like, you're on your own.
So the rest of the afternoon, we rode around the island, explored some of the beaches and coves, and it wasn't an ideal beach day. It was threatening rain, cloudy, overcast, a little bit breezy. But the entire time, I couldn't get that cliff and cave out of my mind. It really struck me, really looked very appealing. And in the evening, when we got back to the resort, I asked the lady that worked at the resort about it, and she told me in the morning there's monkeys that come down off that cliff that live up there by the cave. So I think when she said that, it kind of sealed it for me. On my own or not, I was going to go explore that cave. So good morning. We had a bit of a night last night. Just relaxing here, a couple beverages. But this morning, looks like a nice day. Yesterday was cloudy, overcast. We had rain the whole way and down to Pattaya in the early morning. So let's go out and see what there is to do.
No. Nang long.
First, we gotta have a cup of coffee. That hits the spot. The caretaker at the resort told us in the morning down here at Nual Beach that there's monkeys that come off these cliffs. But I don't see anything but a bunch of dogs. A lot of dogs here. I don't see any monkeys. And if there's this many dogs, the monkeys wouldn't be welcome. But we'll go down here anyway and look and see what's doing over here by the cliffs. So you can climb up this cliff at least
halfway assisted by this rope. They've got a rope tethered off, and you can kind of walk up the steep slope and pull yourself along the rope. Of course, the dogs don't need the rope. They do okay. But then for the rest of the way, you're kind of on your own. So I made it up to the cave here, and yeah, this is where the monkeys are. I found the monkeys. They do come off the cliffs in the morning. You just kind of got to come up here, because I don't think they go down to the beach too much. They're probably afraid of the dogs. But this is a neat joint up here. Nothing like some early morning climbing, cliff climbing before breakfast. All the way. I can't go any farther. All the way up here. But I can see some animals. Probably dogs have come up here and slept during the night. Got these little holes dug in the sand down here. And it is a nice shelter. I mean, if you get a big storm, wind, rain, it's enough of a cave to shelter you. And what a view. What a view. It's a little cooler in here too. You can actually feel the dampness in here, as opposed to being like out on the beach. There's no sun, it's damp, it's a little bit cooler. You're surrounded by these rock walls. I guess that has something to do with it. Well, see if I can get down now, but we conquered the cliffs.
So yeah, that was a good time going up there to the cave in the morning, something nice to do. If you want to do this, one suggestion I'd have is maybe wear something other than flip-flops, because you can lose your balance, like that. Luckily I had the rope to hold on to. V wouldn't come up to the cave, she just wanted to stay down here and play with the dogs, but I think it's time to maybe go out and find some breakfast.
Nope, no message.
So there were a lot of places open for breakfast, serving various things. I wanted a noodle soup. We had to go to 3 or 4 different places before I found noodle soup, but I found it, and it was early. Some of the places weren't quite open yet, but here's what I ended up with. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a beauty. I got the addition of some grilled pork in mine, so I got the standard noodle soup plus the grilled pork extra added in. I think it was about 70 baht, which is maybe 10 or 15 baht higher than that would have been in the mainland. Everything's about 20% more on the island. But let's get back to the resort and see what we're going to do today. So today would be a much better beach day, and it was decided we would, go to a couple beaches, but that we would start with Samay Beach. And Samay Beach, you have to walk across this little walking path, bridge, whatever you want to call it, just to get there. But it is a beautiful beach on the other side once you get there. A little rocky at first, but it does straighten out to a really nice white sandy beach you can see over there. And the tide was out, so usually the water would be almost up to where I'm standing right now. But we had a good look around.
So who hasn't at one time or another thought about finding buried treasure on a beach somewhere? We might get that today. สวัสดีครับมีไหมโอ้ย2 บาท So I guess you could call that buried treasure. He found some money. Small amount, but they add up.
So yeah, it felt really hot on this beach, and there weren't a lot of lounges to rent, and we wanted to make some other stops, so I just decided to maybe relax in the shade for a couple minutes before we head off.
Oh, that's better. That's so relaxing.
So our next stop for the day would be at Tien Beach, and this is us just arriving to Tien Beach, and we'll look at the beach and have some lunch, but unfortunately we're out of time for this episode, so we'll pick this up right where we left off on the next episode. So I'll leave this here, and thank you for watching, and until next time, bye for now.